Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Karissa, can we please have a one-word prompt?
Blood.
Blood. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I'm trying to think if when's the last time
You've
I
ever
donated
bled?
blood? Yeah.
Oh, that's the last time you bled.
Last time I bled, I think was a couple days ago. I had a little scratch on my hand.
Yeah, me too. My leg.
Yeah. Just random scrapes and bumps.
And boops.
Yeah. Do you think the nurses drink the blood when you give it to them?
I hope so. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your hosts, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ.
Hi, CJ.
This is the show where we talk over TV shows and movies as chosen by our guests. And this week we watched Renfield. 2023's Renfield.
With Nicolas Cage.
As Dracula.
What more do you want?
That's all I need. Nick Cage as Dracula.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yep.
That's it.
That's, Ken, I think I texted you this, but I learned, first of all, everyone should stop and go watch Nick Cage on Colbert when he was on promoting this movie. He's just a fascinating talk show guest in general when you get to see, like, him actually trying to be a human person and, like, interacting with people, not just in the movie.
Did he succeed or fail?
Yes and no. I think I found it like very, very entertaining. I would have watched like an hour of that. But I learned that Colbert one time they asked him the Colbert questionnaire, which is a questionnaire, and they got to one that was like, Nick Cage, which of your favorite or which of the movies you're in are your favorite? And Mandy was on the top 5.
I've heard that. Yeah, that's great.
Which we all know and love.
Yes. Definitely top 5 for me, for sure.
I'm now an owner of Mandy merch.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I got hooked up with like a gift card to something, and I saw they had Mandy merch. I was like, yeah, I'll buy a Mandy t-shirt.
Yeah, Mandy merch.
Yeah, some Mandy merch.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah. I should have worn it, but alas, couldn't plan ahead.
It's okay. You know what? Most people who are listening can't even see you. So
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I know
think
they
it'll
wish.
be okay. Yeah, for sure. Should we bring our guest on?
Yes, please. She's sitting right next to me. It's fan favorite, Karissa.
Hi, I'm back.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Ken. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I already asked CJ how he was, so I won't ask him again.
Bad. Moving on.
No, I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk about Nick Cage. I love Nick Cage. I love Mandy in particular. That's one of my favorites. Although on first watch, I think mostly my reaction was, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with it.
Yeah. I think I gotta rewatch that one. It's been a few years, I think.
Talk about blood.
Yeah.
I've watched the Cheddar Goblin commercial a couple of times since I watched
do
it.
love the Cheddar Goblin.
They
that
had
was the
Cheddar
best part.
Goblin.
It was the best part of that movie,
Yes.
for sure.
Look, Cheddar Goblin! Cheddar Goblin, did you eat all the macaroni and cheese?
Nothing's better than cheddar.
Cheddar Goblin.
They had some, I did not purchase it, but they had some Cheddar Goblin specific merch.
Amazing.
That's great.
A decent amount of it was sold out, but yeah.
CJ, what Mandy merch do you have?
So I have the, it's like a baseball tee, but it's white with black, and it just has the 44. I think the t-shirt that he wears, it's that. And then the other one, it's also like a baseball tee. It's red sleeves, black shirt, and then the text, it looks like a sort of like metal band style font with a lot of, things sticking out, but it just says Mandy instead. Yeah.
Oh, I want some Mandy merch. That sounds great.
Yeah. I have yet to wear either of them, but
Yeah, well.
they're in my closet somewhere.
I was going to say, have either of you seen Color Out of Space?
No.
I remember you, Ken, mentioning that, though.
Yeah, it's got similar, not quite the same vibes as Mandy, but Nick Cage is in it, and it's trippy. So I thought you might like it as well.
I've heard that it's excellent, and I really want to see it, but I haven't seen it yet. I listened to a recap of it on one of my other favorite podcasts. You guys are my favorite podcast, but on my second favorite podcast, I listened to a recap of Color Out of Space, and it definitely made me want to watch it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Is that more horror-y? I thought I remember you saying it was a bit more
Yeah,
spooky.
well, it's based on a Lovecraft story.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of horror sci-fi-ish.
But
I
they
think
play
Mandy's
with
more horror than that though.
Yeah,
Okay.
they play with color in the same way that Mandy does. Is that correct? Like it's
Yeah,
similar in that
that's
way.
right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because Mandy, that's what I really loved, or one of the things I really loved about Mandy is just how they use color to set the mood, and it's just, yeah, it's great.
Yes. That's the movie that comes to mind when I need to justify my purchase of getting the lights behind the TV that sync up
Yes.
to what's on screen.
Yes.
Watching Mandy with that, I was like, holy shit, like this
Burns
is,
out the red.
Wow.
Yeah, this is an amazing viewing experience.
That's
That's cool.
That I would watch Mandy on your TV
Okay.
for sure.
We can have a
Yeah.
viewing.
Yeah, we should.
Come on over.
Please have me over too. I would love that.
Hell yeah,
Well,
let's do it.
My other favorite Nick Cage movie is Pig, obviously.
Oh,
So
I haven't
good.
seen Pig yet.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Ken, you have to see it. It
Okay.
is exceptional.
Okay.
There is some blood and guts, but overall, it's just a very touching, very kind of sentimental movie, despite it being maybe horror. Would you consider it horror?
No, I don't think so.
There are some horror elements.
Yeah.
Is it like more genre kind of? Would they consider that?
I don't know what that means, I don't think.
It's not like campy or anything like that.
Yeah.
I watched it on a plane and loved it, even in that experience.
Were you crying?
No, but I was close.
Because the first time I watched it, the credits were rolling, and I cried for an additional 20 to 30 minutes
It's
after
a sad
it ended.
movie? Really?
It's touching.
It's touching.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You really, I won't spoil anything, but like, yeah, this relationship that Nick Cage has is just it really like gets a hold of you.
Yeah.
It makes you feel things.
Yes, it does. Highly recommend.
Nice.
Ken.
Yeah, it's
All right,
it's
cool.
really good.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I
Yeah.
can't watch things that make me cry on planes anymore. I watched I don't know if I
Right.
talked about this on the show or not, but I watched After Sun on a plane and bawled my eyes out because that
Yes.
movie is rough as hell.
I still haven't watched it because I'm afraid of how much I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's a great, excellent movie, but it wrecks you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Can't feel things.
No, I know.
Don't want to.
I can't
Had
feel
I known,
things.
I would have avoided. But
I avoided sad movies for so long after and during the pandemic because I was like, I can't. I just can't. And now I'm starting to dip my toes back into sad content. So, anyone have any sad content recommendations? I'm all
wrong
ears.
people to ask.
Yeah. I actively avoid them.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, speaking of not sad movies, we're going to talk about Renfield and more coming up on the Overtalking Podcast.
Anything but.
I need to get out of a toxic relationship.
My boss, he's different.
You can't get him out of your head.
No.
I need your assistance.
I'm coming, Master!
Oh, you feel like he could destroy you with the snap of his fingers.
Wouldn't even need to snap.
Renfield, bring me innocent victims. I want a handful of nuns, a busload of cheerleaders.
And I just want a normal life again.
And we're back on the Overtalking Podcast, joined once again by returning guest Karissa, and we're talking about Renfield. Karissa, we're going to put 30
Boys.
seconds on the clock. You're talking with the boys. That should be a sting we just got, like a shock jock morning radio host.
Yeah, clip it.
You're back with the boys on the Overtalking Podcast. Wah, wah. I hate that I did that. Please cut that out, but also clip it.
Clip it and chip it.
Clip it and ship it.
Carissa, we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock for you to describe for someone who's never heard or seen the movie Renfield, but without spoilers. There aren't really many anyway, but what it's all about.
Ready, go.
All right, we got our boy Renfield. He is friends with Dracula, and he also is questioning his relationship with Dracula because he recognizes that he is a codependent. So he is attending meetings, 12-step meetings with other codependents,
10
and
seconds.
he is using the advice that he receives at those meetings in part to strengthen his relationship with
2,
Dracula and or
1.
escape that relationship.
Time. And hilarity ensues, folks.
It sure does.
That's right.
That's very funny.
Yeah, it's definitely a really funny premise in general, right? Like you're taking Dracula's essentially henchman, who has a narcissistic relationship with Renfield, and putting him through support meetings to learn how to escape that relationship.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so funny because he enters into this group, and he so clearly is like undead. Like just taking one look at him, it's like, well, you're 200 years old. But our boy Nicholas Hoult plays the undead very well, as he was also in that other zombie movie, Warm Bodies. Is that what it's called?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he plays this character very well. He was also great in that. But nobody else seems to recognize that his skin is very white and that he speaks like he's from a different era. No one questions that.
That his middle name is Montgomery.
Yep.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Dead giveaway.
Montague, please.
Montague.
Montague.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, Karissa, why did you pick this movie?
Well,
Karissa, why did you specifically pick this movie?
I picked this movie because CJ picked this movie. I had seen the trailer for it, and as I said previously, I do love Nick Cage. So I was very excited to see this movie. I was going to see it eventually anyway, so I was really excited to watch it with you guys, or at least watch it alone and then talk to you guys about it.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for allowing me to not do more homework for the show.
That's okay. I don't mind. I just watched this movie last night, maybe?
Ooh, it's fresh.
It is fresh. It's very fresh. But I have to say I don't remember most of it.
It's mostly just like action, I think.
Yeah, I think that's why. I think that's why when I was reflecting on it today, I couldn't remember what happened, because I never watch action movies. That is a genre that I just do not ever watch. So I realized that most of it was just action, and that's why I was having a hard time remembering the plot.
Yeah, I was surprised how much action is in this movie. Like, there are many fight sequences.
Yes.
I didn't expect that from the premise. I don't know.
Yeah, I was also surprised by how many of my favorite comedic actors were in this movie, because I do love Ben Schwartz.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love that other guy.
Brandon Scott Jones?
Yes, Brandon Scott Jones. I love him.
Who's that?
He's the person running the therapy group.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's also in what I've decided is my very favorite show to have ever been made, The Other Two.
Yep.
He's excellent in that show. That's one of my faves.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
yeah, I didn't expect this to be comedic at all until I saw the cast. And then, I was very excited.
I feel like you're off to the races almost immediately in the movie, where you're like, oh, this is a comedy. They're poking fun at this genre. Like we're gonna have a good time here.
Yes,
for sure. Yeah, you got Awkwafina as the police officer.
Couldn't believe she was in this. I did not know, and then I heard her very distinct voice, and I was like, oh my god, it's Awkwafina.
Really loved her. She has a coworker named Kyle, and she delivers this line where she's talking about somebody saying F you to all the cops in here, and her coworker Kyle comes by and says, you say F you to me all the time. She's like, fuck you, Kyle!
And then throughout, more people say fuck you to Kyle.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Kyle really gets the stick on this one.
Yeah, Kyle sucks.
Poor Kyle.
We hate Kyle.
We hate Kyle. Fuck you, Kyle.
And I'm sure, as you guys probably already could guess, my favorite part of the movie is in the first 5 minutes where they're at the group therapy session, and one of the people are describing their codependent relationship, which the listeners will hear a clip. I clipped it already. Clipped it and shipped it. They'll hear the clip of the movie.
Nice.
But somebody explaining to their codependent boyfriend that he's into ska music and that's bad.
I thought of you
my
immediately.
God.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I come here and listen to these poor souls talk about their monsters.
You were talking about Mitch. What?
I know this is like way down the list of bad stuff, but he's also really into ska.
The kind of music?
Yes. Fishbone, Mustard Plug, Voodoo Glow Skull.
I fucking hate that shit!
I'm so sorry, Caitlin. Mark, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Is that the one that's 99% horns?
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking.
No, that's a huge oversimplification of ska's innovative contribution to music. Oh my God, who am I?
I blocked this out entirely. I watched this with Eric, and he was freaking out about all the ska references. His eyes were glued to the screen because he was so excited about it. And I know what ska is, but I don't know a lot about ska. So just,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, throughout, Eric was like, oh my God, it's another ska reference.
Yep.
And I was like, well, it's over my head. And then I totally blocked it out. I forgot that any of that happened.
I'm familiar with all the bands they referenced.
Yep.
It's so good. And then later, we see Awkwafina's partner, a policeman. They arrive at the warehouse of that codependent partner's there, and he sees graffiti and asks Awkwafina, like, what is that? Awkwafina goes, I think those are lyrics to a ska song, which they very much are. The song is called The Message to You, Rudy by The Specials.
Wow.
One of the best two-tone ska bands to ever exist. And then the cop just goes, ska's not dead. Fuck.
Yeah, that was the line that Eric really liked.
Yeah, he's mad it's not dead.
Yeah. No, I didn't know what ska was until I met Eric. Truly, I didn't know what it was.
I didn't know what ska was until CJ. Really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my main
What's the
contribution.
difference between two-tone and three-tone ska, CJ?
Two-tone is sort of harkens back to the reggae era of it.
Because it's always like dun 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 dun.
Kind of, yeah.
1 2 1 2.
It's more the black and white being the two tones.
Okay.
So it doesn't have anything to do with the sound of the music.
It kind of does, because it's that era, the more, like, I would say, like 60s-ish, 60s, 70s, maybe.
Okay.
So what's the difference between two tones and the Mighty Mighty Boss tones, then?
So two-tone is sort of a wave of ska, if we say. We're currently in the fourth wave of ska, if you're curious. And the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones are just the name of the band that plays ska music.
Boss Stones.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
They're very good. It was great. All those references. I loved it. I'll probably play a clip of Message to You, Rudy. Stop your messing around. And you see the guitar's more on the upstroke instead of the downbeat of the song.
All right, this is
absolutely
way too much ska for this episode.
Okay,
So
wait. One more quick story. What you were saying about have never heard of the genre before. I very distinctly remember in a freshman year class in college, as like an exercise to get to know each other, we like shared something like that, and I said like ska music, and literally no one else in the class, they were like, "What? Did you make that up? Like, what is that?" And like, literally did not even know I was referring to music. Even they were just like, "What is that word?" It was like, it's a genre of music.
That tracks for me.
Yeah,
that tracks.
Fun times.
Nice. My favorite part of the movie was at the very beginning when they show Nicolas Cage and
Renfield,
whoever played Renfield, the
other Nicolas
Hoult.
Yeah, and they're like impersonating clips from like old Dracula movies.
Yeah.
And they got like the old lighting of like just the eyes lit up.
Yes, we were just talking about that.
I thought that was so cool.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad you also got that. Yeah, we literally were just talking about that before we started. I really appreciated the homage to that beam of light across the eyes. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't know anything about the old Draculas. So I feel like there's probably a lot in this movie that I missed the reference to. I know nothing about.
Great during trivia later.
I know. I know nothing about Dracula. But I have recently been rewatching the Twilight movies, so I do know a lot about vampires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Meg and I have been talking about doing that because I haven't seen them, and
you've never
Meg
seen them.
Thinks it'd be fun for me to watch them.
That's exactly what we did. Eric had never seen them, and I forced him to watch all 5 movies. Yes, there are 5.
There's 5?
Yes, because the fourth book, they split it into 2 parts.
Okay,
and they absolutely did not need to, and in fact should not have. Because there is nothing happens in either of the last 2 movies. It could have been one 90-minute movie. And instead, it's 2 90-plus minute movies.
Where does the first one end then to like be like to be continued? What's the like cliffhanger conflict?
Oh, I don't even know. They all have run together for me.
I
just watched all of them straight through, so it's just one continuous storyline to me.
Is the ending? Is it just like werewolves versus vampires at the end?
At the end of the first one or at the end of the
no
series?
spoilers, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
No spoilers.
Spoilers for a thing that came out in the early aughts.
Yeah. Well, I think that the general perception is that it's vampires versus werewolves. But what it really is vampires and werewolves versus the vampire government, which is really... I'm not going to go into any more detail because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, unfortunately, the vampire government gets involved. So... you have something to look forward to. Yeah, I really hate when that happens in my own life. So
that's right.
Yeah,
we're all libertarians here.
Yeah,
right. Less
government,
vampire government.
Yeah, but I was really shocked when Nicolas Cage burst into flame because I thought that when vampires were in the sun, they just sparkled.
That's right. Like the Twilight movies would lead you to believe.
A little mist.
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson steps into the sun and he says, like, I'm hideous. Don't look at me. But he's just like sparkling like a diamond in the sunshine.
It's like he accidentally got some glitter on him. That's what it looks like.
I'm hideous.
Okay.
They're very dumb.
It's so bad.
It's
good. So bad. But I do recommend that you see them because they're so in the zeitgeist, not just right now, but they're just like so embedded in culture. You have to know if you're Team Jacob or Team Edward. You just have to know.
Well, which are you guys?
I'm honestly Team no one, but if I had to pick, I would say I'm Team Edward.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Team anti-toxic relationships, so
exactly.
I abstain.
And I'm Team Bella. So that's
hey,
there we go, feminist over here.
Yeah. Way to show us up, Ken. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Yeah, but no, highly recommend you should watch.
I'm Team Renfield. Okay. I like him. I'd hang out with him.
Me too.
He's
I
a
think
good
I'm
guy.
Team Dracula.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
world domination.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I think it might be time for trivia.
Let's do it.
What do you think? Well, it's time for...
Hey, did you know that?
That's right. For new listeners, this is the part of the show where we pit our guests and siege head-to-head to see who knows the most about what we watched, or really more about Dracula history is kind of what this ended up being.
No.
So
I don't think I'm going to know much else.
I don't know anything.
I think we're still
this will be a good equal playing field then.
Okay, great.
That's good. All right, first question. Who is Nicolas Cage's favorite actor to portray Dracula? This is multiple choice. In fact, every question is multiple choice.
Thank God.
Yes, thank you.
Was it A, Bela Lugosi? Was it B, Christopher Lee? Was it C, Gary Oldman? D, Gerard Butler? Or E, Nicolas Cage?
Oh, it would be so funny if he said himself.
Very Nick Cage move to choose himself.
Oh, that would
Gerard
be...
Butler? What movie was that?
Dracula 2000.
I've never seen any other Dracula movie, so I'm going to guess A, because that one sounds like... It just sounds right to me.
Is that Bela Lugosi?
Yeah.
That's actually what I was going to choose as well.
That's incorrect. It was Christopher Lee.
Aw, don't know who that is.
I've never heard of the movie Dracula 2000.
They made 3 of them.
What?
2001 and 2002.
No. I forget. They have different names for the sequels. Dracula 2000 is okay. Gerard Butler is sexy.
Trilogy?
He's sexy in everything.
Yeah, that's Gerard
Butler. Butler's not in the sequels, by the way.
Just
to be clear.
Well,
Gerard Butler,
very bad.
Very sexy in Plane.
Oh, I still haven't seen it, so I need to see it.
2 episodes ago.
Yep.
Go check it out, folks. It's great. It's fun.
I haven't listened to the ep yet because I want to watch it before I listen to the ep.
That's the problem with our listenership in general. Moving on. Next question. Nicolas Cage's uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, directed 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula. The studio originally wanted Nick Cage to play what role in that film? Again, multiple choice. Whoa. Did they want him to play A, Dracula, who is played by Gary Oldman, B, Jonathan Harker, who's played by Keanu Reeves, C, Van Helsing, who's played by Anthony Hopkins, or D, R.M. Renfield, who's played by Tom Waits?
Whoa.
Ooh, I'm going to guess Renfield.
Yeah.
A Tom Waits Renfield. Now I got to watch this movie. I'm going to say Van Helsing. I think Nick Cage would be a fantastic.
Sorry, it's still scoreless. The answer actually is Jonathan Harker, Keanu Reeves' role.
Who is that?
I don't know who that is.
Harker's actually the main character in the book Dracula.
Really?
Is he after Dracula, and that's why?
Dracula is using him to buy property.
Oh, great.
What?
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
Is his real estate agent?
Pretty much,
Well,
yeah.
there's a real estate component to Renfield too, right? He wanted to like
He got his own
buy a bunch
studio
of
apartment.
land or something. Yeah, he got his own studio apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was funny.
He wanted to stop murdering everyone so they could actually have a home and stop moving from city to city.
All right, let's see if you guys can get on the board with this next one.
Probably not.
Renfield syndrome is a real psychiatric disorder. What are its main symptoms? So this is multiple choice. I will say there's more than one right answer in the list.
Okay.
Right, I like those odds.
Okay. What are its main symptoms for Renfield syndrome? Is it A, eating bugs, B, believing you're a vampire, C, a fascination with drinking blood, or D, believing you serve a vampire?
Whoa.
Oh, no.
And this is real.
None of those sound real. I think I'm going to go with C.
I'm going to say eating bugs.
Okay, Karissa, you get a point.
Woo!
Yeah, fascination with drinking blood is one of them. The other is believing you're a vampire.
Wow. Okay. Well, those two go
Which
together.
seems, well, yeah, but it seems like it's incorrectly named, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
Renfield syndrome it should be called Dracula
syndrome.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Renfield doesn't drink blood, does he? He just eats
No,
bugs.
He eats bugs.
Yeah.
He gets life force
Which
from bugs.
also doesn't track for me. That didn't make any sense. Felt made up.
Yeah.
How
it's
do you...
in the book too, but I don't understand it.
Yeah. It seems disconnected from everything else that's happening.
Mhm.
Like, this guy's not Spider-Man.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just like what's like
He's Batman.
a meek version of Dracula. Like
Sure.
what would be his version? It's like, well, blood is too like Dracula vampire-y. What's like a toned down version? Like how
Almost
about
like
some
this
bugs?
tiniest amount of blood you can get.
Yeah.
Okay,
from a bug.
I understand. If I'm putting it in terms of Twilight,
Okay, here we go.
it is
please,
that
please.
Some vampires drink human blood, but the Cullens just drink animal blood, and they call themselves vegetarians.
Okay.
So that
good.
analogy
I like
tracks
that.
for me. Okay, great.
That's kind of funny.
That is.
Yeah. It's just, Dracula, like, I like him also, at least in this movie, pointing out, like, if he gets, virgin, innocent blood, it's,
Right.
like, more effective than, like, shithead's blood kind of thing.
Yeah. More potent
Yeah.
or whatever. All right. Next question. Director Chris McKay says Renfield is intended to be a direct sequel to which Dracula movie? Is it A, Nosferatu, B, 1931's Dracula, that's the one with Bela Lugosi, C, Bram Stoker's Dracula, that's the one with Gary Oldman, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, or D, Dracula 2000?
Well, I've never seen any of them, so I'm going to guess B.
Yeah. I'm going to go with C.
B is correct.
Woo!
Damn it.
All right.
Bela
Lucky
Lugosi Dracula.
guess. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew
That's
that.
that's the one that they're recreating scenes from at the beginning of Renfield.
That's why I
Got
guessed it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Yep. Yeah, I knew
Makes
it
sense,
the
right?
whole time.
All right, Chris is in the lead then, right?
Yes,
Yep.
I
By
am.
one? Okay.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
Well, this is like definitely the last question. What is the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score in percentage for Renfield? Closest without going over. Carissa, since you're in the lead, you go first.
Oh no, I wanted to go second because this is going to really reveal my rating. I'm going to say, okay, unfortunately I'm going to say 68%.
Okay.
$1, Bob.
CJ, you're on the board.
Finally.
Wow, what was it? Oh, it's even lower than what I thought? Oh no.
57%.
Oh man.
Yikes.
But it's not enough, CJ. Too little, too late.
Yeah.
Carissa, you're our winner. Congratulations.
All right.
What do you guys think the audience score was?
Probably
Higher.
a little higher.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with 68% again.
Ooh. I'll say mid-70s.
79.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's higher than I
Higher,
expected.
higher.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I guessed lower.
I did happen to, I was checking in a different movie on Letterboxd and caught a glimpse of your
No.
Letterboxd rating of Renfield. I was
Oh,
like,
you saw what I rated it?
We've got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, Ken, did you
Well, let's
see
get
it?
into it then. No, I didn't, but I'm very
Okay.
curious, and I have my own opinions, so
Okay.
let's see if they line up. It's time for ratings.
You've heard us debating. We know you've been waiting. So now it's time to hear our ratings.
Carissa, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Renfield for you?
Okay. For me, this was really bad, guys.
No!
This was really bad. I don't think I've ever disliked a movie for this podcast as much as I disliked this. I truly, halfway through, I was like, I'm going to play The Sims. And I played The Sims and half watched it. And I can't believe I'm using this strong of language, but yeah, I hated it.
Wow.
I hated it. So this, to me,
Really?
out of 10...
Why?
I think it's just because it's an action movie. Honestly, I'm biased because I don't like action movies.
Yeah.
And so the fact that this was an action movie, like already it's a 5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
So this gets a 3 out of 10 from me. I did think hard about this because out of 5 on Letterboxd, I ended up giving it a 2. And so I said, well, that makes it a 4 out of 10, but I couldn't justify giving this a 4 because I hated it so much. So it gets a 3. I truly, I can't
rectify that.
Yeah,
Letterboxd score.
I know. I can't even tell you why I hated it. It just general vibes. Hated it.
I did. So I originally watched this a few weeks ago, and so I threw it on today. But I was kind of like fast forwarding through parts just to try to remember, and it did sort of. I did have the realization of like, oh yeah, this fight scene is like 10 minutes long.
Yes.
Like this is the majority of the movie is just like these big action sequences.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a large part of it.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching Transformers or something, where it's like 10 minutes of plot and then 80 minutes of fighting. I did like the blood and guts. We haven't really talked about just how much blood and guts there was in this movie.
A ton.
I loved that. I loved how unrealistic the gore was, that people were just exploding, body parts being ripped off. I liked all of that. That's all good and fine. That's what got me to a 3.
Damn.
I mean, there's some good, blood and guts parts. At the very beginning, Nick Cage's Dracula turns into mist, goes into a guy's mouth, and then reforms as Dracula, basically exploding him from the inside out. Yeah. So good.
That's good.
Yeah, I loved the scenes where he burst into flame too. I thought I don't know, just that effect was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That he was on fire, but he's so villainous that he still wanted to attack the person that did it. It's like, I don't care that I'm in flames. I'm going to kill you.
Yes.
I can come back from this.
Exactly.
I'm going to take you out.
Yeah. But Ken, I'm really excited to hear what you thought.
Yeah, I definitely think I should go first or next because I think this is going to be the full spectrum of everyone's ratings here. For me, I also had problems with this movie. I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I will say that.
Okay.
I overall thought it was fine.
Yeah. That's about what I expected.
Yeah.
It's, horror comedies are tough, and this is barely horror anyway.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And comedies are especially tough for me. I feel like I'm extra critical. I don't know why. It really has to be the right chemistry of actors and writing for me for it to be good. And if it's not good, for me, it really kind of plummets.
Mm-hmm.
And there's good moments in this movie. Like the support group main guy, who I don't know, but he is very good.
He's very funny.
Everything he says is delivered hilariously.
Yeah.
And some of the acting in this movie is very good, too. Like the main Renfield acts is great. And Nick Cage's Dracula is excellent.
Agreed.
I love it.
Agreed.
He steals the scene. And he's really, really good. I don't know how else to put it. He's great. I would pay money to see a standalone Nick Cage Dracula movie. The parts that are weak for me are the parts that they hired specific comedic actors to play.
Sure.
Like, I feel like Awkwafina's role is not great.
It's bad.
It takes me out of it.
Yep.
I feel like Ben Schwartz's role doesn't fit in this movie.
Even worse.
I keep hearing Sonic the Hedgehog at this point.
Oh.
Like he's going super high pitched now with his voice in these movies, and he's got neck tattoos, and he's fighting in action scenes, and it's just a huge disconnect for me. I don't know. It doesn't quite line up. Additionally, man, I have so many thoughts on this movie, but I think the premise of the movie is great. Like the elevator pitch of like, yeah, what if Renfield is trying to escape this narcissistic relationship with Dracula?
Yeah, that's
like
funny.
that's a great pitch. But in terms of how they flesh it out with the story, like there's not really much nowhere to go with that. They do a little bit with the support group and that stuff's funny, but it's not played out enough for me. I feel like there could have been a lot more plot revolving around that, but more it's like this gang crime drama thing. I don't know. 5.
Wow. Okay.
5 for me. There's good moments. I don't hate that I watched it, but it's not the best. It could have been a lot better for me.
Agreed.
For me, 7.5. Loved it. Loved every minute of it. Had a blast. This is very fun.
Wait, really?
Yep.
Okay, wait, CJ, you have to tell me why you liked it. Please help me understand.
I'm not surprised
because this movie isn't winning any awards. We all know that, but it's fun for fun's sake. I was on board from the get go. I immediately got the tone of it that they were like, yeah, this isn't a movie to be taken seriously. Let's have fun with it. This is a ridiculous premise. Dracula isn't real, so we can just play around with that. Or is he?
Or is he?
But yeah, I love Benny Schwa. I love Brandon Scott Jones. I love Nick Cage. Yeah, I agree that Awkwafina's character was okay. Not her acting. Yeah. She's great. But I just meant they really shoehorn in the motivation behind that character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Having the sister who's better than her in the FBI, but in their dad dying and stuff.
Yeah, I could have.
It takes away from what the point of this movie is.
Yes.
It's supposed to be Renfield and Dracula, and it gets so sidetracked by this weird other gang plot line.
Yes.
I don't know.
They're trying to clearly give that character motivation, but it's not great or I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do there. You could just have the person. She's a police officer. She is anti-crime. I don't think you need much more motivation than that. That's their job, is to take down crime families.
Yes.
You don't have to add this whole thing with the father and stuff. We extra hate them. It's well, no, you hate them already because they're criminals.
Because that's their job.
Right.
Yeah. God.
So yeah, I agree with you there. But I had a blast watching this. I was cracking up. I would watch Nick Cage do hours and hours of Dracula. He's great.
So
not enough.
Yeah. So the premise and the vibe were enough for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
How can I not be on board where you're poking fun at ska within the first 5 minutes and you're
that's what
that's it.
You got
that's
deep cuts of
that's it.
You're not just you didn't just Google ska. It's oh no, you're actually referencing bands that some are not that well known kind of things. And I got to give it up to spray painting the Specials lyrics on a wall is, man, the amount of hours I put in listening to the Specials in college is astronomical. They're
so
great band.
that made this movie the Specials for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
Stop messing around.
Wait, is that the second time you've sang that song this episode? That's what I thought.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
It's a blast. Don't take it seriously. It's just a fun time.
See, I don't want to disagree so firmly with you. But there's no plot.
Yeah, I know.
There's no plot.
Yeah, that's okay by me.
I should have known you'd be okay with that.
I'm just along for the ride.
There's starts of plot.
There's 10 minutes of plot.
Yeah, they start the plot of Renfield trying to get away from the relationship of Dracula. Mm-hmm. That goes nowhere. And then they start the plot of this mob war with the police, but that also inevitably goes nowhere. Mm-hmm. And then it ends. It's stupid. I don't know. Yes. It's not good.
I genuinely couldn't remember how it ended. And not because I looked away.
I remember
it had a funny
part of
ending.
it. Yeah.
I did part of the ending that I did was when all of the support group members were killed because of Renfield. And then he brings them all back to life just by giving them Dracula blood. I did think that was funny. That was it. That was absurd enough that I really found that funny. And then the delivery of the line by the group leader who was like, "Yeah, and thanks for bringing us all back to life with that Dracula blood." I thought that was funny.
They just kind of toss that out there and then move along, but they're also laissez-faire about it.
Yes, I did
then
like
we got
that.
brought back to life. That was cool.
Okay, maybe that's an additional half point.
Yes.
3.5.
It's not getting raised for me, but I included that in my rating.
Good.
That part is good, but the wrapping up of the quote unquote plots. Otherwise, I don't remember either. Really, what happened there? I think just everyone died. Is that it? I don't know.
CJ, you liked this movie. How did it end? Don't want to spoil it.
People should watch this. So it's fun. I don't want to spoil
Don't bother. It's all right.
Watch it while you play The Sims.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Yeah.
This is the kind of movie I'm actively seeking. It's just a good time, funny, not serious movie.
I'm honestly a little disappointed that I didn't like it because when I saw the trailer, I was really excited. I was really excited. Maybe that's it. Maybe I got my hopes up too high.
Yeah.
And then I was disappointed, and that's why my rating's so low. I don't know.
I get that, especially, if you don't like action, there are long fight choreographed scenes. Yeah.
It is just disappointing because the premise is awesome,
It's good.
right? So that makes a cool trailer. It just wasn't realized well enough, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I don't know.
Agreed to disagree.
All right. Well, that's about all the time we got for this week, folks. Karissa, thank you for joining us. Do you have anything you want to plug or words of wisdom at the end here?
Ooh, words of wisdom. Don't watch this movie. No, that's all I have. Thank you guys for having me. I love being here. And even though I did not like this movie, I enjoyed watching it because it meant I got to hang out with you two. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. CJ, what do we got?
You can follow us on all the things at Overtalking Pod. Call or text us at USACat1591. Go to our website, overtalkingpod.party. Type in the word Karissa. Get 30 results. She's an
30?
all-star. No, I'm just... I
actually don't know how many times I've been on.
But it's a lot because she's rules.
Yeah, you're probably up there as one of the most on guests.
I'm vying for that top spot. So
you're close, I think.
Keep that in mind.
Email us like actor Wayne Knight did at overtalkingpod@gmail.com.
Man. Going to play that out. I love it.
For a year.
Yes. Oh, no, they're here. I don't think that's Dracula's song. Anyway,
that's right.
They're cloaked figures. Is it Dracula? No, it's the Overtalking Overlords.
They probably share a stylist.
They probably do, yeah. Are your cloaks dry clean only, just like Dracula?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. They're here to remind me to remind you. If you like the show, please go on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and rate and review. Reviews would help people find this podcast. Also, we spend enough money in advertising, so if you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. We would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And they're gone. And as we always say,
Ska's not dead.
No, that cannot be it.
Bye.
Absolutely not. Oh, fuck.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week's special guest was Karissa. Music by Justin Peters. Logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.
Stop your messing around.